Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you. So today, what we are going to talk about is a concept, and it's the concept of more is always better. And this is a thought process that I see so many steroid users, and not just steroid users, just performance enhancing drug users in general, whether it's SARMs, HGH, peptides, things like clenbuterol, even people with Viagra and Cialis and Levitra. There's this belief that more is always going to be better. Now let me tell you why that is just absolutely asinine and crazy. But before that, let me tell you this. There are certain situations where you do need a little bit more to get more out of what you're doing, and I'll cover that in a minute. But generally, I see guys that say, well, I'm not going to get any results at 300 or 400 milligrams of testosterone. I need 750 milligrams, or I need a gram a test, or I'm not going to get anything because so-and-so said this and so-and-so said that. That's Mr. Olympia or IFBB Pro or yada, yada, yada. Let me tell you something. I have all the respect in the world for the pros. I mean, good Lord, look at what they've done, what they've accomplished. It is, I don't even know how to put it into words aside from incredible with a lot of these people. However, just because someone is huge doesn't mean they know what they're doing when it comes to steroid use. Anybody with good genetics and a really good work ethic that knows how to eat can take a bunch of random drugs and get massive. That doesn't take any sort of genius whatsoever. And they don't care, nor maybe fully understand that, or both, what kind of strain and long-term damage they're going to do. I'm not taking anything away from what they accomplished because, good Lord, a lot of us could only dream of that. But it doesn't make you a certifiable expert, and it certainly doesn't put the average random user into that category of should you use that or can you, etc. Now, when you get into that more is better, guess what happens when you start taking more and more and more and more? You start to reach those thresholds. Well, we all have different thresholds. I can throw you out numbers that say you shouldn't go over this amount and you need at least this much. And yeah, that's an average. But let's face facts here. We're talking about, hormones and different types of steroidal compounds, different types of performance-enhancing drugs. We all have different responses. We know that. Some of us can't even be in the same room as D-ball and we start to get estrogen conversion. And some people can take a gram of test and barely need a little bit of a Arimidex to hold them at bay. I don't know why. Nobody's going to be able to tell you why, because everybody's different. Why is one person able to grow 7 feet tall and the next person can't get past 5'5"? I don't know. It's all in your DNA and your genes and your genetics. There's no answer for that. So what I can maybe take or cannot take is going to be far different than what you or Joe Blow or whoever else can handle or take. But the point is that you start getting to these thresholds, and guess what happens when you start taking more? Nothing better. You start experiencing side effects, right? And things just get worse and worse and worse. People want to run D-ball at 50 and 60 milligrams a day. That is too high. That's when you start getting that more is better. Well, if I just run a little bit more, well, eventually your little bit more has turned into like double what you're supposed to do. And it's really wrecking people. It's hurting people long and short term. And let's just, okay, that's the obvious and the most concerning, but let's get a little bit more picky here and just hit it a little bit harder. Well, when you start doing that and you really start ramping that up, okay, you're putting so much excessive pressure on so many different areas. So let's say, for instance, you're taking D-ball and you want to run it 8 weeks. That's too long. Okay, well, I ran it 4, I can get away with 5, well, I can get away with 6, well, I can get away with 7. When does the number actually end? When does it stop? When is enough enough? There is a threshold here. You can't just keep doing that forever. Trust me, I learned the hard way on more is always better with Tren. That's the last thing that you want to learn it on, by the way. Okay? I got so greedy. And this is from a guy that teaches you guys, how to use it and what to do with it. And I've taught everybody this and that, and this was years ago. But I'm still teaching something that I already know. Oh, but I feel so good. My libido's so high. I'm tearing it. I am just tearing it up in every aspect. And then, boom, like a train hit me out of nowhere. Started having psychological effects, just pouting and so down on myself, thinking that I am just the world's biggest scum, piece of trash, like in everything I do. If I'm not working long enough, if I'm not, being so polite and I mean, just the littlest things. I mean, it's just everything. You start beating yourself up, and then the side effects come. I mean, the night sweats, the insomnia type of thing, which I didn't really get the insomnia so bad. But I'm telling you, there's so many things there that get involved. That's just trend. I mean, there's so many other things. Like, you start ramping everything up, and before you know it, it just starts compiling, and it hits you. It hits you so fast, you don't even know where it came from. Okay? And if you live by that concept, you're going to experience problems. And what I was getting at, you're not gonna keep gains. You're gonna be wasting time. You're gonna be wasting money. I mean, that's not nearly as important as your health, but that's just I'm just giving you more factors here. The list is quite long and extensive. Now, there are compounds, your equipoise, your masteron, your primable, and you do need to go higher on those. You don't have to go running a gram of them, but where I tell people, and this isn't for 100% of the people, because I know some people that can run DEC at 500-600 milligrams and do really well with it. But for the average everyday user, I tell people stay around 400 milligrams with Tren and DECA. Don't go over that. That's going to seem low to a lot of people, but I'm telling you that more is always better concept will catch you, and it will bite you hard. It will really bite you hard. Tren or equipoise, primable, and masteron, you need to be in that 600 range to really get something out of it. I know people that try to do 400 and 500 milligrams on these, and they do okay. They still see some gains, but it's not really that sweet spot. But every compound's going to have a sweet spot for you personally, and then an average sweet spot. But when you start getting crazy and overdoing it and exceeding those sweet spots, and thinking that you just need more and more and more and more and more, it is going to catch up with you, and it's not going to be any fun. Trust me when I tell you, it's going to ruin so many things for you. And it impedes future progress. It makes recovery terrible if you even do recover properly, which takes a lot longer to actually get back on a cycle. And if you're spending time and money in that, and we're just looking past the health side of it because I've already covered that, so I'm getting into some more extensive detail here because nothing's more important than your health. I mean, you're wasting so much time, energy, effort, and money. Okay? It's just not smart. Don't live by that concept of more is always better, because I promise you, more is not always better. And that goes with all aspects of life. I'm not going to get all philosophical and on you guys and everything like that, but that goes with a lot of rules in life. It's not just anabolic, PED, SARM, steroid use, all of that. There's a lot of things where more is not always better. Trust me. But we'll stick to the topic here at hand. Just be careful. Find your sweet spots. Don't go crazy. Test the waters, but do it slowly. And don't just, don't fix what's not broken, and don't try to get out of line and crazy, because I do not enjoy the emails that I get when people are hurt, they're having problems, they're begging me for help, they're saying they're desperate. I get these all day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and it causes me to lose sleep. Okay? And I'm not saying this for my benefit, I'm saying it for yours. It makes me sick to see this, so I have to try to send a message to prevent it. I can write everybody all day, but I need to hit a wide audience on this. So, that being said, stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli, signing off.